All right. Okay, we are live, y'all. I'm always excited to be live. I used to not like being live. I used to like to just do the video and then get the video edited, make it look real pretty and real sweet. But now I'm real happy about being live. So I see you guys are jumping on. Today we are continuing in what looks to be a 12-week series, and we're going to talk about circle prospecting. Very, very important for you guys to key in on circle prospecting. I'm going to let a few more people jump on. There's quite a few of you guys jumping on already. Did you see the numbers that came out this morning here at our Mentorship Masters dashboard? In Workplace, we have our top attractors and we have our top producers. So you guys are doing really, really good. I want to commend each and every one of you for the great work you're doing. You're out there changing lives. You're helping people. You're making a difference in the lives of others and in the lives and in your own life and in the life of your family. The lives of each of your family members. So I'm super excited to be partnered with you, super excited to be in business with you. And I'm very excited to be able to disseminate, teach, train, and coach you on all the stuff that I learn. I don't know if you guys know this, but I spend about an hour and a half to 2 hours every day learning. And the way I do it now is mostly through audio. So typically I'll go to the gym and I'll put in about an hour and 15 minutes. And usually it all told is about a couple hours between the drive in, the drive home, hour and 15-minute workout. And that whole time I'm listening to training. And then I disseminate that information, simplify it, and then bring it back to you. Of course, we have to spit out the crap because there's a lot of training out there that's garbage. There's a lot of stuff that's really, really good. So I'm always excited to be able to do that. What I've been geeking out on lately is the book Expert Secrets. I think I have it here close by. This is, you guys know I told you already about .com secrets. This is the book that helped me launch my internet marketing. Basically, it's all about getting your message out to more people. And this is the book that helped me do that. And Expert Secrets is the one I've been geeking out on. Russell Brunson's one of my mentors. And so I've been really geeking out on Expert Secrets lately. For about the last three weeks as I've been launching a new company that officially launches next month. So I'm going to do a special announcement for you guys because you'll be part of it to let you know about that. We did kick off the Knolly team. Actually, we officially kick it off on Thursday of this upcoming week, which will be the week before Thanksgiving. And the cool thing about that is I've got Kevin Kaufman and Fred Weaver that are going to be flying to Austin to help me officially kick off the Knolly team. And someone's like, what does that mean? Well, I have not had an official team for 5 years. That's, with me, obviously you guys are part of my family, but actually I haven't run the Knolly team in about 5 years. And so I'm excited to now through EXP and the fact that I've been given the green light to go ahead and get this thing launched. We're going to launch the Knolly team nationwide. So that's going to be a lot of fun. That's a launch that we have prepared for next week, and you'll start seeing rumblings of it, in email and so on. I've already started. In fact, I sent an email out yesterday, and we've already got 5 people that have sent in their application to be part of that. So it's going to be a lot of fun, guys. Black Friday is right around the corner. So everybody expects me to do a Black Friday special. So I've been working on that, been working on the whole funnel for that Black Friday special. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And a lot going on. Patty Lynn was asking, do I ever sleep? And yes, I do sleep. That's why I have such great people like you, Patty Lynn. And there's actually 5 people. I have 5 VAs now, virtual assistants that work for me. And they do various things, because there's a lot of stuff that I don't like to do. This is an exercise I'm going to remind you guys. I've shared this story with you before, but I'm going to remind you because I think it's very important that you do this at some point. A lot of people teach that if you're not good at something, in fact, I grew up hearing this, if you're not good at something, study it, and get better at it. But I believe actually the opposite is true. In fact, I know it to be true. I'm studying a whole new, in fact, I told you guys I recently hired a new coach, $25,000. I always joke that the more money you make, the more expensive your coaches end up being. And that is true because you want to hire a coach that knows more than you do. I've had a few coaches that I've outlearned, and that's no fun, but that's just part of the trajectory of growth. But this new thing that I'm part of called Wealth Dynamics, which I'm going to be introducing to you guys soon, and I'm kind of immersing myself in it. But the whole training, and this is actually something I've been studying for the last several years, is on the premises that you don't play to your weaknesses, you play to your strengths. Okay, what that means is you find out what your strengths are, and then you just build those. And then the areas that you suck at or that's no fun, you just hire those out. Okay, because guess what? There's somebody that is going to love to do the stuff you hate. Okay, that's somebody else's genius. Remember the quote, everyone is a genius. Okay, everyone is a genius. Okay, but if you judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life thinking that it is stupid. Okay, that's a quote that was attributed to Albert Einstein. Everyone is a genius, but you've got to find your genius, and then you've got to walk in it. And then guess what? Ooh, nobody can touch you. Why? Because you're the best at what you do. That's why I like this book right here, Expert Secrets, because it kind of helps put a lot of that into perspective. This is not the book of the month, by the way. I'm just showing you guys some of the stuff that I'm reading lately. So the exercise that I did that really freed me up quite a bit, actually freed me up. See, freedom is what we're going for, guys. I wrote down everything that I didn't like doing. Okay. And this is actually what I did. What I really did was I wrote down everything that I do. Every single thing that I do on a daily basis, I wrote it down. That's actually how I came up with the 46-step listing system that you guys can download in the members portal. So I wrote down every single thing from the time that I generate a lead, from the time that I capture the lead, talk to the lead on the phone, go out to the listing appointment, enter the listing on MLS, as we're talking about listings, every single thing that I did in a particular day. And I wrote it all down, and then I rated those on a score of 1 to 5. Okay, 1 to 5. 1 means, okay, I hate it. And then it goes all the way to 5, which means I love it. Okay, and anywhere in between. So it's like I hate it is 1, I don't like it is 2, I like it is 3, I don't like it is 4, and I love it is 5. Okay, so just like Amazon, same rating, 1 through 5. And after I rated every single thing that I did, say, okay, I send emails out to clients, that's a 2. I answer the phone, that's a 1. I don't like answering the phone, I really don't. I call prospects back that want to talk about listing their house, that's a 4. I like doing that. I go out on the listing appointment, that's a 5. And so on. I did this for every single thing that I do. And if you want to make it easy, just download my 46-step system. Okay, it's on one page, and then just rate those 1 to 5. And then what I did was I made a resolution to only do 4s and 5s. Okay, and this was, gosh, this must have been back in 2007, 2008, maybe. So I still remember exactly where I was when I did this. And I made a resolution that I would only do 4s and 5s. Guys, that is called living life by design. Living life by design. And I wouldn't have it any other way. It's the life that you designed or the life that you're designing is the life that you get to live. So anything that's a 1, 2, or 3, I delegate. And what I found, interestingly enough, there were very few 4s and 5s. Now, as you go through the process, later on, you're going to even have some 4s and 5s that you have to delegate because you're getting so busy, you're getting so successful. That's the reason why I'm able to teach agents, real estate agents and entrepreneurs how to quadruple their production while working 20 hours a week or less. Most people don't believe it's possible because they have never experienced it. The most money I ever made in real estate, I was working 3 or 4 hours a week. The most money I ever made in the real estate profession. You know, now I'm in the coaching and training space, but the most money I ever made in real estate, I was working 4, some weeks 5 hours, some weeks 3 hours. That's it, you know, because I was only doing the stuff that I love to do. So that's my word for you guys. I want to once again welcome you to today's call. We got some stuff that we're going to be covering on circle prospecting. Will's asking for his invite to the launch. That's coming soon to a theater near you. Lucas is asking, is this a real estate team? Yes, it's a real estate team, Knolly team. Okay, let me see. I'm just going through these comments here. Sam won't be able to join us live. That's okay, Sam. You'll get the replay. Oh, by the way, last week we had some technical difficulties, but you want to go back and listen to the last one because it was really good. We talked about the seller guide, you know, the editable seller guide, and I've never sat down for an hour and just gone through the seller guide. But my technician, my video editor, he put everything together. So we're going to have that up and live on the portal sometime later today. I was talking about the fact that there's some things that are going to be 4s and 5s for you, but they're not going to really be in your sweet spot. So for example, for me, I love to edit videos. I mean, I know it's crazy, but I love video editing. I just geek out on it, but it's very time consuming. So guess what? I made the conscious choice to hire a video editor. And it was one of the best choices I've ever made. He absolutely does a better, more fantastic job than I've ever done with the videos. And he loves doing it. And that's all he does for me. He edits, he does graphic stuff and other things too, but mostly he edits my videos. Okay, so yeah, Sam says his daughter's school is on lockdown. So we're going to be praying for her situation. Sam, that's not good to hear. Yeah, he says, Sam says his kids are safe. Okay, that's good. Okay. Remember, we have an official prayer list here at Mentorship Masters. We have an official prayer list. So go on to our Mentorship Masters portal, and any prayers that you guys have, make sure you add those as well. So David Speedy's asking how many people are in Mentorship Masters right now. I believe the official number is 68. Okay, that's the official number of how many members we have in Mentorship Masters. I have officially brought on 48, I believe, or 47. You guys have brought on the rest. So kudos to you guys. You know, you're out there making it happen and bringing them in. We have another gentleman that's joining us from Queens, New York, that Joe Font brought over. But it's taken him a little bit of time because he's a broker and they have a special process they have to go through. And he's going to be bringing on several. I think he's got 15 agents. So that's going to continue to make us increase as well. So I love increasing. You know, Jesus started off with 12. I'm putting it in God's hands. I let him see how big this thing's going to grow. All right. So everything, you know, as far as the weather here in Austin is like 40 degrees, which I don't like, but it's a lot better than many other places. But guess what? Tomorrow it's going to be like 70. So I'm digging that. You can't ask for better than that in November. Okay. All right. So what I want to jump into, if you guys have any comments or questions or anything, just put them in the chat box. Meanwhile, I'm gonna mosey on over to idea number 15. And kids, you can follow along in the Triple My Listings book. This is something that without you guys, I would have never written this book. Never. You guys have been, in fact, without you guys, particularly David Speedy, I would never have started doing these weekly calls. I would have probably just done monthly, maybe done a couple of videos here and there. But I like this format. I like the fact that we get together once a week. So thanks, David, for that idea. You guys kept, I think it was Lucas was asking me, and Sabu kept saying, Sabu was real big on it. He was like, man, what do I do when I go in my lead generation bunker? And I was like, crap, I got to write another book. So that's what I did. I went and wrote this book right here, just to show you guys when you get into your lead generation bunker, which is every single day from 9 to 11, you sit down, you put this book in front of you, and you, the ones that you have asterisks by, or the ones that you've highlighted and starred, those are the ones that you're going to be doing. So I got to tell you, you guys are the catalyst for me. You tell me what you want, and I'll go out there and get it. By the way, this weekend I earned $1 million. Can you believe that? I earned $1 million this weekend. Let me show you. Look at that. $1 million. $1 million. So I went to a, you guys know this is not a real $1 million bill, but do they even have $1 million bills? Unlikely. Google it and let me know. But I went to a seminar this weekend called Highest Potential Academy. And so I was learning for 2 days quantum physics, which is stuff that I geek out on. It's actually the stuff that you guys have been learning from me incognito, because I don't usually call it quantum physics, but that's what mostly what we've been learning about the mindset. And so they gave out these $1 million bills as kind of something that we could paste on, as kind of sort of an inspiration. So a lot of people want to be millionaires. Been there, done that. Made my first $1 million when I was 29. Made $2 million that year, and it's cool. It's good. It's good. I like to live in what they call the new rich, and that's the 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, where he defines the new rich. Okay, you don't need $1 million to be rich, y'all. But it's fun. It's fun to have money. It's good to have money as long as it doesn't have you. Okay. All right. So what we're studying is starting on page 92 this week, and we're talking about circle prospecting strategy around just listeds. So when you're what we call circle prospecting, the idea of circle prospecting is very simple. So let's say, for example, let me grab something that I can show you. Yeah, I'll just use this. So let's say, for example, you take a listing. Many of you know what circle prospecting is, but I'm not going to take that for granted. Let's say this is your farm area, okay? Or let's just say this is a neighborhood, and you take a listing right here. Okay, you list that house right there for sale. Okay, so in the land of circle prospecting, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go out to all the houses that are around what we call the subject property. Okay, subject. And I'm writing this down as if you guys can see it. Thank you. Yeah, got me a delicious elixir. Oh, by the way, I got another surprise about Josie, but I'm not going to tell you guys because I'm sworn to secrecy. But I'll tell you about that surprise whenever she allows me to tell it. Probably be in a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so. Remind me, I'll let you guys know. It's a good surprise. Ooh, that's good. Okay, so you got the subject property, and then you got houses around that. So all you're doing when you're circle prospecting, okay, a lot of times we hear these terms and they sound daunting, like, oh, I gotta go circle prospect. No, it's real. We just come up with fancy terms, guys. Don't get afraid of the term. It's real easy. All you're doing is saying, okay, that's my listing. I'm going to hit, now this is not something you can easily do in rural areas, but if it's a subdivision, you're going to hit 20, 30, 40, 50 houses around that house, okay, around that house. And now you've got an excuse. Remember, you're the mayor of your area. Now you've got an excuse to knock on that door, okay? That new listing just gave you an excuse. Why? Because you are looking, now you've got this new listing and you get to knock on every door and let people know about that new listing in the area, okay? In other words, the people in the script I like to use with people is I say, hey, you get to play a hand in picking your new neighbor. Wouldn't that be great? You get a chance to help me pick your new neighbor, you know? And so we're allowing the people that live in the neighborhood to take an active and concerned role about who they get in as the next person, right? Not discriminating, right? But it's kind of fun to play those games where you say, hey, would you like to help me pick your new neighbor? And let them get in on the game, right? So in idea number 15, page 92, and on page 93, you'll find the script that I like to use to when I'm doing that circle prospecting. So the other thing that I want to throw out on this, because it's a question that I've been asked, is does it have to be my listing? Okay, not necessarily. I mean, there's a fine line on this, so you definitely want to check with your broker to make sure this is cool, what I'm about to tell you. This is good. This is an elixir that's made with, it's got like reishi mushroom, it's got cacao, and a bunch of organic natural stuff. Not coffee, just organic stuff. You know, the other thing that we put on here is ghee, which is, if you're vegan, you don't want to use ghee because it's actually like a clarified butter. But my health coach said it's really good for the brain. And it makes that thing taste pretty good too. So, so does it have to be your listing? Okay, so let's say, for example, it's another listing at the brokerage. So let's say another EXP agent has the listing. We used to do this all the time. And you may or may not have permission because you're not saying it's your listing and you're not even marketing that listing. All you're doing is you're saying, hey, our organization or our office just took a list. We just put a new listing in the neighborhood at such and such Hickory Street. And I'm going to be working to find buyers for that property. Okay. Can you help me pick the neighbor? Who do you know that's been looking to move into this neighborhood? Okay. So it doesn't even necessarily have to be your listing. And I'm not 100% sure that you even have to get permission because you're not saying it's your listing. And you're not saying that, all you're saying is that our firm has a listing down the street at this address, you know, and so I think that would be fine. But check with your broker when you're doing circle prospecting, even the script that you're using, things like that. You want to make sure that because every area is a little bit different. So anytime that you get a new listing, you definitely want to do that. Now, remember, for every listing that you take, it should result in 4 closings, okay? Write that down. For every listing you take, you should have 4 closings. The first closing is which one? Right? The one you listed, okay? But then through these different activities that I'm teaching you, you should be able to generate another listing, okay? Just by the activities, by the events that you're having, not open houses, but events that you're having in the area. They're open houses, but they're really events, okay? By being the real estate mayor, by doing the circle prospecting, by marketing the listing, all the stuff that I teach, you should be able to generate 1 more listing. And then you should be able to generate enough buyer leads to where you have 2 buyers that actually buy, okay? And if you're really, really good at your craft and you get a buyer on the phone, they're not gonna want to work with anybody else. That's one of the reasons why, because I'm a master of scripts, I would avoid talking to people on the phone that I knew were already talking to either another agent in my office or one of my team members. I just wouldn't talk to them because I knew once they talked to me, they wouldn't want to work with anybody else. You know, I'm just that smooth. And I can say it because I have perfected my craft. You know, a lot of people are like, well, I'm still working on it. What you working on? Get to it. Perfect your craft. If you perfect your craft, everybody will know it. When you sit down in front of them, they'll say, man, that guy, ooh, wee. And see, the thing is, it doesn't mean that perfection is a particular space or place. See, Scripture says that we go from glory to glory. That means we're ever improving. I'm already glorious, but guess what? Tomorrow, I'm gonna shine even brighter. Okay, we go from glory to glory. That's what Scripture says. So what you have to look at is you want to perfect your craft. That's what Mentorship Masters is all about. You perfecting your craft. Don't get lazy about perfecting your craft. But when you perfect your craft, you will exhibit and exude and ooze, okay, a level of confidence that people would just want to align with you. Okay, you'll just be beaming it out. Remember, if you've already listened to Your Wish is Your Command, the brain of the Homo sapien is a transmitter and a receiver. Okay, so we're constantly transmitting messages to people, constantly. And so by you becoming more adept at your craft, which, by the way, Success with Listings, the book, will help you do that. You'll start crushing it. The way that Russell Brunson says to do it is to just do volunteer work. Like if you're a coach, a trainer, and stuff like that, he says just go help people. One example of that, because I know that the training that I provide works in any profession, not just in real estate. So my massage therapist, she had a situation. She had a problem that she needed my help with. So I did a consultation with her, and I didn't charge her for it. She's a friend of mine. She was a massage therapist just doing massage by herself. She didn't have a company or anything like that. She was just one person. But what she really wanted to do was spend more time with her boys. Her boys at the time, this is about 4 years ago, were like 2, and she had a newborn. One was like 2 years old, and one had just been born. And she wanted to be able to raise these boys, but if she didn't physically have her hands on a body, okay, she wasn't making money. So what I told her, I gave her the same stuff that I teach you guys, and it was really about how to build a team, is what we were talking about. And so she took the concepts and ideas that I coached her through, and she started hiring other massage therapists. She hired one, then she hired a second one, and then she hired a third one, and then she had a fourth one. And now I think she has like 16. She's got not one location, but not 2 locations, but she just opened up her 3rd location. And she went from not being able to be a stay-at-home mom, which is what her heart was desiring, to saying, okay, do I have to give up the profession, or is there another way that I can do this? When she found out that I actually teach real estate agents how to work 20 hours a week or less, she was like, if you can do that in real estate, which I've always heard was nights and weekends, can you help me? And so that's what I did. And about a year after I helped her, it's been about 3 years now, but about a year after I helped her, she was doing a massage with me. And she said, which she rarely did, because she doesn't even do massages anymore. She just manages her businesses from her house, from a bedroom in her home, and she just spends a couple hours a week doing it. Okay, she's got a person that she hired over the whole operation. And she told me, she said, Knolly, she broke her foot. Is what happened. She broke her foot, and she was not able to do. She had to stay off her feet for like 3 months. And she said, Knolly, if it wasn't for you, I would have lost my house. Okay. Now, you and I know it wasn't me that did that. You know, I just gave her knowledge that she was able to implement and use. Okay. And so the way that you gain confidence is you get out there and you just start doing your craft, start doing the work, you know, make sure you do the 2 hours every day. And then you get out there and start listing homes, start selling, start making yourself available for people, start getting results for people. Okay. So that's idea number 15. Idea number 16 is very similar. This is when you have a contract pending, you're going and doing circle prospecting, same thing. Okay. And then the script for that is going to be on page 96. Now, the way you want to do that, if you have a contract pending, let me see if I wrote that in here or not. I may not have written that. Yeah, so if you have, the way I like to do this, and I learned this from my buddy Tom. I thought this was genius. So what Tom would do is he would actually physically print out the contract that he got on the house. He wouldn't show it to people, but he'd have it in his hand. And then as he went knocking on, when he just got one under contract, he would say, hey, 123 Maple Street is under contract. I got the contract right here. It's already under contract. And here's the problem. I've got people that have been calling me because they want to move into this neighborhood. So I need more inventory. Who do you know that's looking to sell? Okay. All right. So the first script that you used on your just listed was, who do you know that's looking to move into the neighborhood, that's been wanting to move here? Now the script changes because that house is no longer available. Now the script is, who do you know that is looking to sell? Because I've got a list of people that are looking to buy in this neighborhood. I've got like 3 or 4 buyers, and this one's already gone. It's no longer available. And so that's a whole new script that you can start using for, circle prospecting around that. Now, idea number 17. Oh, by the way, if you've got multiple offers on it, one of the great things you can do there is kind of have a little bundle of offers in your hand and say, look, that one at 123 Maple is gone. In fact, I got 3 offers, got them right here in my hand. I got 3 offers on it. And then that even's like, wow, this gal is something else, right? And then the third one around the whole circle prospecting series is when it just sold. Okay, so after you've sold the property, that's another excuse to go back through your neighborhood. Right now, remember, you're only going to want to circle prospect because it's time consuming. So you're only going to want to circle prospect in neighborhoods that you farm, that you want to get listings in, okay, or that you want to work buyers in, okay. So that is on the just solds. There's another script for that, and this script is really about moving people into your list. And it's so I talk about at that time, that's when you say, hey, we just sold this one down the street, so that one's gone. But I tell you what, would you like to know about any new homes that come up for sale in the neighborhood? Or would you like to know anytime one sells, or when your neighbor gets his house on the market? Would you like to know what they're listing them for? Yeah, I'd like to know that information. Okay, great. Well, let me go ahead and add you to my weekly list or my monthly newsletter, whatever. And then you add them, you get their personal email, and then you add them to your list. Now, a lot of these people obviously won't be home when you go by, so you could get door hangers, or you can get a letter that you print out that's similar to the scripts that I've got here, okay, that you just basically leave letters on those houses, okay, or at the front door. So that's circle prospecting. Circle prospecting will get you a lot more listings than you could even imagine, because it's you being the mayor of your neighborhood out and about in your town, okay? You're getting to know the neighbors, you're getting to know the people that live there, and guess what? They're getting to know you, okay? It's just like the mayor going out and kissing babies, the same thing, right? So that's circle prospecting. We're gonna move on to the next one, but before I do, let me just check and see what questions we have. Yeah, okay, so looks like you guys are having a side conversation. Okay, let's see. To me, it says she loves ghee. So yeah, I do too. Okay, so prospecting. David Speedy's asking, do you mail postcards or letters before or after the door knocking? Okay. I think it's a great idea to, so what I would recommend both. So you're already going to be doing just listed postcards. Okay. I don't know that you have to do the postcard before or after. I don't know that it matters. But just have them in whatever sequence works better for you. Because remember, now if you've never been to the neighborhood before, it might be better for them to get a postcard and then you knock on the door. But remember, once that neighborhood's yours, you could like the neighborhoods I farmed in. I mean, nobody could touch it. So like people wouldn't even try to come into those neighborhoods, even though they really could have, because I only had like a 25% market share. They could have totally come in and got the other 75%, but it looked to them like I had it on lockdown. So eventually, people are going to know you because you're going to be mailing postcards. If you're taking a lot of listings there, they're going to be getting 6, 7, 8 postcards a year, and then you're going to be mailing letters to them, and you're going to be doing open houses or events where you invite them to that. I mean, they're just going to know you. So I don't think the order in that case will really matter. So, yeah, David's saying we need to start practicing scripts. I used to have, there's people that, agents that I've coached that absolutely hate scripts. I mean, they just hate them. They think that they're fake, they're canned, they're not natural, and so on. And I was one of them. I mean, when I first got into real estate, I was like, man, and I'm only bringing this up, David, because I hear a lot of agents that are veterans like you that say, man, I need to start learning scripts. And it's like, well, you haven't learned them yet, Yeah, I mean, the thing is, at first I would knock them, but my mentor kept telling me, Knolly, you need to learn scripts, dude. And I was like, no, I'm just going to go. I'm just going to say what comes to heart. I'm not going to learn a script. But later I realized that it's not so much for you that you're doing the script. It's really for the seller. Okay. Because all you're doing is you're getting him to make the right choice to hire you to sell the house. And scripts help you do that. We use scripts in every area of life. I mean, there's certain processes and things that you say to people that are just your default things that you say. They're scripts. Okay. I look at scripts as like in a theatrical production or a movie. You get to pick what you're going to say and be very conscious about what you're going to say. And so all the script is an organized way of communicating something to someone and disseminating information in a way that they can understand. Okay. So literally I have so many scripts that I just default to, like especially all your objection handlers, you should understand and know those scripts. Scripts around anything that, like in my book, Success with Listings, I have 95 scripts, 95. I went through and counted them. There's 95 of them. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't put your own spin on it, but you actually have a framework to be able to communicate and disseminate information to a person that's in a way that they can understand. Okay. Because otherwise all you're doing is you're spending 2 hours to explain something that might've been explained in 15 minutes had you had the right script. Okay. So don't get afraid of scripts. Don't feel like that they have to be canned or unnatural. They can totally be natural, because now all the scripts that I use are completely internalized. I was doing an event one time, which I had never thought about it, but I was doing the Success with Listings seminar, which I've presented over 100 times. And this guy came up to me at the end of the event, 3 hours long. And he said, how much of that was a script? And I started thinking about it because nobody had ever asked me that question. And I had to think about it for a minute. I said, to be honest with you, the whole thing was a script. Like the whole 3 hours is a script. Even if I, now there's things that I do that are unscripted. Okay. That I kind of weave and flow. Like sometimes I'll tell you guys a story. Pretty much all these mentorship masters roundtables are unscripted, because guys, you don't have to use scripts for people that know, like, and trust you. That's something I want to bring out. So if you've got a friend that knows, likes, and trusts you, you really don't have to use scripts, except that certain scripts will help them to create right pricing. Like, for example, with pricing in the book, I've got 10 scripts around people that want to overprice. So there's 10 different scripts. You need to learn those. Okay. If you if you want to, if you feel like you need to cheat, you can actually have some of your most popular scripts on flashcards. Okay. And all you got to do, guys, there's no shame in it. This is what I did at first. I don't have to do this anymore, and eventually you won't. But I used to go and I say, Mr. Seller, I've got a couple of notes that I took on your property because I wanted to make sure that I captured all the information. So I took some notes specifically on your property. And let me see where my notes are. Oh, here they are, right here. Okay, great. So and then you have your scripts right there. It's like you're cheating, right? So you have some of your more popular scripts here. Eventually, you can go to a point where you have they're not even scripts, they're like bullet points. When I used to preach, I used to go to a church. Now we have a home church that my wife and I lead. But when I used to go to a established church, and every now and then they'd ask me to preach about once a month. I would be the pastor of the day for do the sermon. And so I would always carry in my back then we used to wear a suit, sport coat. In my sport coat jacket, I would always carry a script for my sermon. In fact, my sermons were all scripts. They weren't verbatim, they were just bullet points. Like, you got to cover this, almost like a PowerPoint presentation. Okay, that's really a script. So when I do a PowerPoint, the PowerPoint is not for the audience, it's for me. It's to keep me on track, because y'all know I can get off track sometimes. And so scripts are very, very important. Yes, you definitely, when you learn your scripts, you'll have a level of confidence, and you'll come across to the client as having a level of confidence that's bar none. Okay, bar none. So yeah, you want to start practicing scripts. Lucas says, yeah, they become natural when you start to practice them. Absolutely. Oh, David said that message on scripts was meant to be a private message for his accountability partner. Okay, good. Well, you shared it with all of us, David. So thanks for sharing, because you got me on that whole scripts thing. I like this platform because we can send private messages to each other, although that one was not private because it was meant for us all to be able to enjoy the knowledge of it. So let's move on. So I want to talk about for sale by owners. Okay, for sale by owners. That's idea number 18. And you guys have actually been asking me about for sale by owners, and I haven't had a chance to talk about them in previous calls very much. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of probably wrap up this call with FSBOs, if that's okay. So we did circle prospecting. Now we're getting straight into FSBOs, and then we'll start the next one. We'll actually be talking about expireds. By the way, there won't be a roundtable next week or the week after. The week after is Thanksgiving. Next week is going to be the launch of the Knolly team. It's going to be on Thursday. It's going to be around the same time that we normally would have our roundtable. So we're gonna endeavor to record that and provide that video content to you guys, so you can kind of see what Kevin, Fred, and I talk about, and how to launch when you're ready to launch your team. Kind of the talking points around that. Everything that I do, I try to document so that you guys will learn and follow in the same footsteps. So talking about FSBOs, I've seen a lot of agents get frustrated with FSBOs. That's the wrong approach. Just realize, just right here and now, realize that there's going to be a percentage of people that decide to sell on their own for whatever reason. Okay, don't take it personal. If it's a friend of yours, I have a good friend of mine. In fact, they live in Hawaii now. They were selling their house. They just came and stayed with us, spent the night like 3 weeks ago. And she had a house here in Austin that she decided to sell for sale by owner. Well, the house didn't sell. Okay. She ended up, and I wasn't like, I told you so. Look, there's going to be people that decide to sell on their own. That's just the way it is. Now, what percentage of people decide to go for sale by owner? Okay. What percentage? All right, students, let me see. 9%. Okay, write that down. According to the National Association of Realtors, 9% decide to sell without a realtor. 91% decide to hire you. Okay. So for one, it's not that big a deal. It's not that big of a market. It's only 1 out of 10. The second thing about that, and here's the thing, the reason I mention that is because sometimes no matter what you do, what scripts you have, what information you provide, they're just not going to list with you. And that's just the way it is. So what you want to think about is what's the next best thing? What's the second best thing that you could get? And that is you can get their loyalty, you can get their cooperation, and you can get their referrals. Okay. Because guess what? If they're listing their house for sale by owner, they're going to be running across a lot of people that potentially might have a house that they need to sell, that are traipsing into their home. They're going to be having conversations with a lot of buyers that may not be represented. Okay, just going to their house on their own and may be looking for an agent to represent them. And they're going to have the majority of their family members and friends that would not ever in a million years try to sell their house on their own. Okay. So that person, if you become a resource, and that's what I teach, is that you want to become a trusted resource for these people. That's the role that you want to think about yourself playing, whether or not that person ever lists with you, ever. Okay. You want to be the trusted resource. That's the idea, the mode, the mentality that you want to come into this with. And don't think about it, okay, I'm just going to be the trusted resource because I know they're going to list with me eventually. Don't even take that attitude. Let them know up front, because they're going to ask you, you're going to be coming to them and saying, look, I want to work with you to help you, okay? And they're going to be like, what in the world? Why would you do that? Why in the world would you do it? And you're going to let them know, look, you've got family and friends, right? Yeah, I got family and friends. Okay. Most of your family and friends will not try to do what you're doing. They're going to hire me to do it. Okay. And that's the language you want to use with them. Don't say they're going to hire a realtor. They're going to hire somebody like me. Just take the assumptive. Say the majority of your family and friends, in fact, according to the National Association of Realtors, only 9% of people decide to do what you're doing. So 90% of your friends that are thinking about selling a house or buying a house are going to want to hire me. And so I want you to be thinking, I want it to be front and center in your mind that this is a person that can be trusted. And anytime that you have a family member or friend or anyone that you know that's thinking about selling their home, I'm the one that comes to mind. That's the reason I'm doing this. I know you're not going to list with me. Okay, I already know that. But if I show you that I'm a great resource, I'm honest, I'm ethical, that you can trust me, that I've been around in the community for X number of years, and I'm going to do you right, then you're going to naturally want to reciprocate that by letting your family and friends know that I'm the only game in town that they need to be thinking about if they're looking to buy or sell. Would you agree? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, great. Now, the other thing I want to mention to you is that you're going to have buyers coming into your home. Now, if they decide that they don't want to buy your home, but they want to buy another house, maybe they're going to want representation, going into another house that has a realtor representative. I mean, wouldn't you agree that they probably should have representation if the other side is represented? And it's not going to cost them any money to hire me. So that's another thing, any of those people that you come across, I'd like, for you to, just any of the referrals that you have, I'd like to be the one that works with those. Okay. And in exchange, I'm going to help you as much as I can. There's a limit to how much the National Association of Realtors and my broker will allow me to help you. But up until the limit of what I can, I'm going to absolutely help you to achieve your goals. Okay. Does that sound fair to you? Oh yeah, that sounds really fair. Okay, great. So what all you're doing, guy, and by the way, that's a script. That's just a script that I just mentioned. I mean, I personalized it, but that's the kind of stuff that I would say to a for sale by owner. When they ask the inevitable question is, why would you do it for free? Because people just want to know. They don't trust you. They don't trust you anyway. Otherwise, they'd be listening with you. Okay. So they really are not going to trust you when you come talking about doing something for free. Just think about it. Put yourself in their shoes. So that's one thing I want you to remember. A lot of this stuff that I teach you guys is all psychology. Okay, it's just psychology because I want you to start thinking about the way that they think. And if you can understand the psychology of the seller, you can overcome a lot of hurdles. In fact, they just don't become hurdles at all. They never actually become hurdles because the objections are handled before they even come up. One of the things that you'll do, I teach that you need to win the listing before you ever meet with the seller. And so I'm going to say it again because it's very important for you guys to snap that in. Those of you that haven't snapped it in yet, it's very important for you to win the listing before you ever sit down with the seller. And that's the reason why a lot of times you guys will come to me and say, hey, Knolly, what do you do when you get this objection? Or what do you do when you get that objection? And I have to admit to you that I've never gotten that objection. I don't get those objections. I do not get the objections that you guys get. Well, what about when they want to lower your commission? I never get that objection, ever, never. And the reason I don't get it is because I've already pre-framed and I've already dealt with how I price homes. I have a pre-listing video. I deal with it in my book. It's in my pre-listing package. So they've already been educated and understand how I list homes and how I price homes or how homes are priced, I should say. And they understand how my commission works. Okay. So a lot of this is, if you do your homework up front, just like you don't have to sit down in front of a seller and toot your horn. Well, I've done this and I was ranked number X in the city and I've done this. I've been featured on ABC and NBC and Fox. I don't have to say any of that stuff. They already know that stuff. It's already stuff they've read. They know about me before I ever walked in the door. And I've already won the listing. So in other words, the listing is mine unless I screw it up. So all I got to do is just show up and don't screw up. Okay. And it's mine. It's mine already. So I've got a FSBOs pop-by script that you guys want to learn and master. By the way, I think that's a great idea, David, that you gave. With your accountability partner, guys, remember, every one of you has access to an accountability partner here at Mentorship Masters, okay? And the reason I came up with, and just to finish my thought, with the accountability partners, you should be practicing scripts together. I mean, that's a great idea. It's not what I've taught you guys to do, but that's a great idea. Why not have a script of the week? You say, okay, this week we're going to be studying this script on page number 101. Page 100, let's study this script this week, and then let's role play it. Because it only takes 5-10 minutes to role play a script, okay? Another great thing that you could do is record your scripts on your phone. You've got a great recorder app. Just record them, and then when you're at the gym, you're just playing your scripts back, listening to them. And when you first start your scripts, they are going to suck. When you first start doing scripts, they're going to, how soon would you need to sell your home? Okay. And in fact, I had a guy, I'm going to share this story with you because this is crazy. I had a guy on my team. He wasn't an agent. He was an unlicensed assistant, but he would never practice his script. I mean, he never internalized his scripts. And what he did was he put the script on a paper, an 8.5 by 11, and he just read it. It worked for him. So this is back in the short sale days, and we had a gal call in, and he had him on speaker because every now and then I would monitor what they were saying, stuff like that. So this one was on speakerphone, and he was like, getting to the hardship, because they had to show, why they weren't able to make their mortgage payment. She started talking about how she had gotten sick and she couldn't make her payment for like a year, and he was like, okay. And he says, and he's just going through it, like checking things off. And he's like, and what was it that caused you to get ill? What was your illness? She said, yeah, I'll tell you what it was. It was stage 4 ovarian cancer. And I was just like, did you hear what she said? Stage 4 ovarian cancer? Who survives that? Like, how do you, I'm just like, whoa. And she's calling us to help her out. Ooh, it hit me just like a ton of bricks. But Morris, because he was just going through the script, he didn't even flinch. She was like, yeah, I had 4. I'll tell you what it is. She said, I had stage 4 ovarian cancer. He was like, okay, great. You know why he said, okay, great? Because that was on the script. It's like, okay, there's like a couple of multiple choice, like, okay, great, or oh, I see. You could pick either one. And I used to write my scripts out particularly And so he just read, he was like, okay, great. Next question I have for you. And I'm like, what? And I motioned to him. I said, man, hold on, put her on hold. So I had to explain to him, dude, she just told you. And he wasn't even processing what she was saying. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference between listening and having a conversation. Okay. You got to listen, guys. You got to listen. So scripts have their place, but there is a time when you go off script, obviously. Okay. So, but yeah, I would highly recommend you guys practice your scripts with each other. I was going to say also the reason why I put the accountability partners together. If you don't have an accountability partner already, message Patty Lynn, get on our Facebook group, our workplace group, and get an accountability partner, because the one-on-one coaching is great, okay, but in many ways, it's a scam. Okay, I'm gonna say it again. One-on-one coaching is great, but in many ways, it's a scam. Okay, because what I was taught in doing one-on-one coaching was that you had to sign the client up to a 1-year contract, and there was some people that I would meet with them, and I'm like, I can get this person. I only need 5 months with this person, and they're good. Or somebody else, I'd say, this person only needs about 6 sessions to overcome the issue that they're having right now. And the gal that ran the coaching business, she was like, no, we do everybody on a 1-year contract. And I was like, but not everybody needs a full year. Now, I'm a firm believer that everybody should be coached. You should always have a coach. But what I do, like I hired one coach, Pamela Bruner, and I paid her $15,000 to coach me for 3 months. But that's all I needed. She charges a lot of money to coach. But that's all I needed was like 3 months for her to get me, to come up with certain thing in her skill set. And that's it. That's all I needed. So a lot of the coaching is geared toward, and I'm just going to say it. I know some of you guys might have one-on-one coaches. I'm not knocking it. I think it's good to have a one-on-one coach. I have one. Actually, I have 3 right now. And I pay a lot of money for my coaches. But there's comes a time when you're going to be like, you know what? Well, there's going to come a time when you become a coach. That's what Mentorship Masters is all about. Mentorship Masters, remember the word master is plural. It's masters. I'm not the master, guys. Okay. It's Mentorship Masters. So there's going to come a time when you step up and become a master. And now guess what? You're helping the coach, teach, and train the Mentorship Masters, the masters that are under you. But there's also going to come a time when you've outgrown the training and coaching that you can get from that particular coach. That's the reason why I'm constantly out there learning, reading books, getting more information. Remember, you only have to stay 1 chapter ahead of your student. So I'm always out there getting more and more information and reading. So as I was saying, that's the reason why I'm always out there accumulating, assimilating, and gaining more and more information so that I can bring it back to you guys, so that I can always be 1 step ahead of the student, okay? So that you guys don't outgrow me, okay? But I'm always interested in hearing what you guys are learning, so that you can, so that you can bring it back and share it with the group. But as I was saying, the one-on-one thing, you should always have a one-on-one coach. And that's the reason why I put together accountability partners, because that way you don't have to pay for a one-on-one coach. Now, there is a time when you're going to need a one-on-one coach where you say, look, I need to get a one-on-one coach for 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever the thing is. But I'm just against the whole idea of the quote unquote 1-year one-on-one contract. There's some coaches that have it, and they're not trying to scam people. And I think it's great if they have the right motives at heart. Okay, so I have a FSBO pop-by script. Quick facts. I want to make sure you read these quick facts about FSBOs on page 101. Make sure you read those. And I think the main information that I wanted to disseminate about the for sale by owner, particularly about their mindset, has been disseminated. So you guys get it. So until next time, guys and gals, get out there, make it happen. Make sure you do the 2. Get more listings. You guys are crushing it. You're rocking it. I'm watching what you're doing. I love you. I'm behind you. I'm praying for you. And until next time, I'll see you. God bless you. Love you.